Good evening. Please don't mind my voice. It's a bit hoarse. First of all, let me start by saying thank you to IAMCP and Suresh. Right, while Suresh was pinging since last evening, that sent us some interesting quotes about you. I think I couldn't find one, but on the way, I think I could find one that I like haggling with Suresh on some of the issues which are, troubling us. And an absolute pleasure to be here, right? As the good lady said, I run the cloud and the enterprise software business from Ingram Micro. This is the community of partners, right, for both Microsoft as well as the community partners that is gracing this occasion. And we share a very close working relationship with all of you, right? And many of you I have interacted with in my last 6 months of association with Ingram Micro, and look forward, for us, a smashing year end with all your support, and a great quarter end for Microsoft as well. The theme that we have been working over this last year is to how really we can, listen to the partners, get the feedback out, and work on some of the processes that actually help us win together. And the theme that we have developed ourselves is success as a service, which we plan to deliver for our partners all across the country. Do we have a mark? Now, and this year has been a good year for us. We have gained significant share on Microsoft business owing, so thank you for your support, right, both on Modern Workplace as well as Azure. And it also goes on the back of some of the investments that we have plugged into the business. But what is working overall, and I've been speaking to the partners, we have been speaking to the customers, is that, there is a fairly strong adoption growth, right, in both SME and the enterprise segment. And to some numbers that I was looking at, it's growing by about 50%. So both the MWP and Azure would have grown much more. But even the MWP has grown by 50% year on year. And this is not just for Ingram, it's an overall market, CSP market that I'm talking about. The second area that we see clear traction now happening is the business applications. And we just announced an acquisition, for an implementation and consulting partner in the business apps area just about a month back, and we'll continue investing in it. But when we say that, think about Microsoft 365 and Dynamic 365, right? Those are the two clear areas, where the customers are going to invest in the coming year. The third is, and this is the right scale number of 2018, and I'm sure it would have moved up in 2019, is that multi-cloud is here and here to stay, right? Globally it is about 5 clouds, but in India also we are looking at about customers actually adopting more than one cloud. So the number is about 2 clouds, and it's going to only increase, right? But when we speak to the SMEs, and this year we did an interesting thing at Ingram, is that we branched out to the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. We just concluded the largest digital transformation event in the month of September, where we got about 3,000 partners from across the country in 33 locations across India, in tier 2, tier 3 included, right? Brought them to a hotel, and over 2 days, we really kind of peppered them with the trends in the technology with the help of our vendors and so on. And Microsoft was one of the sponsors for that. Now, the feedback that we received from the SMB, from those partners, in the SMB space, still there is a fairly large lack of, the trusted partner, which means that the customers are still looking at us as someone who wants to transact and not really work with us to help our journey towards cloud adoption. Not something which is unfamiliar to what your customers would be talking about in the SMB space, but this is still more pronounced in the SMB space. And lastly, third largest ISV ecosystem, and this is a great opportunity, right? And some of you who are working with independent software vendors and startups, we are really seeing some great traction around that. And just last week, we had an event called Comet, and the finals for which was held in Mumbai. And we had the largest contingent of ISVs applying for a $1 million cash prize, right? And the competition which runs across about 16 countries. So we just announced India winner. Rapidor, which is also a Microsoft ecosystem of ISVs, and but more than 400 plus applications. This is another area of opportunity if you are, having plays in the ISV and the startup space. But what we need to work on, all good stories, growth is happening, excellent, right? But yeah, I mean, we need to improve profitability as a community, right? And now, who feels that profitability today in the business is an issue in the modern workplace space, right? Any show of hands? I mean, do you think that it is hotly contested, tightly contested market? All of us feel like that, right? And most of it is due to a few pointers which I am putting here, is that we need to redefine the competition. And by which I mean that mostly we are fighting amongst ourselves on the renewals, right? And that has been the biggest bane of the ecosystem that we have developed. I think we need to branch out and redefine the competition. There is about 1.5 million seats available for the taking from our next competitor. And you all know who I am talking about. And I know, some of them are there for the taking because they have had a, 100% price rise over the last 12 months, right? So it's there. Customers are wanting to move out of the ecosystem. We need to tap that opportunity, right? 1.5 million seats available for the taking. Net new customers is always a challenge, right? I mean, as I said, we are largely moving around the customers amongst the partners. We need to find net new customers. And as I said, net new customers are available with our next best competition with 1.5 million seats. And there is a lot of greenfield opportunity also available. Invest in people, right? This is something which we have done as Ingram Micro, and I'm sure you would be looking at this area as one of the key areas for your businesses as well. We, over the last year, have created, at least put about 60 people just on Azure, right? On partly in the country and partly fueling the Center of Excellence, which I will cover in a moment. Sme Cloud Adoption, I already covered that. Multi-cloud capabilities, and multi-cloud capability doesn't really mean that you need to have 3 hyperscale cloud providers on your portfolio. Multi-cloud capabilities also would mean, is to drive the cross-sell and upsell on the customers that you've already won. And this is the largest gold mine that we see is under-penetrated. I think our customers are not really using those multiple hooks that we have. And I think if we can start really talking to them about multiple hooks that you can provide on the back of our portfolio, that is a great opportunity for us to kind of leverage as well. And one feedback for us, which we have been kind of constantly receiving, is process improvement from our side. And we have been working on that day and night to ensure that the ease of doing business with us, kind of also sees improvement. And this is a journey which, some of you are, most of you are accomplished partners. So, and it would be a good exercise for you to kind of find out where you are in this journey. We commissioned this report last year and figured that, and this is a worldwide survey, by the way, about 40,000 partners, participated in this. This is what we call as a cloud awesomeness roadmap. The fundamentals of this roadmap is fairly simple. There are 4 stages of the cloud adoption, right? From a partner's perspective, right? That how sophisticated are you in your cloud journey? And those 4 stages are build, breadth, depth, and scale. Now, as you can see, build 1 to 3 cloud offerings. You are just starting your cloud journey. You aren't really automating it. You haven't really invested in the capabilities, technical capabilities, or haven't really also invested in the sales capabilities. So if you are in this area, then you are in the build scale. Now, but the good thing is you have started off, right? So now is a step that you should take further is the breadth part. Now, breadth part is where things start getting interesting, wherein basically you are talking about marketing, automation, right, cross-selling, etc., right? So, I mean, basically we have seen that the partners who sell more than 4 to 10 cloud offerings are actually in the breadth stage. Now, depth is, you are making that pivot towards infrastructure as a service. And when I say it's not just selling that first VM or a first storage from Azure catalog, is about really building a practice, right? Which means that you have started consciously talking about bringing the customer's workloads on Azure, which means that you have a pre-sales capability, you have a migration capability, discovery capability, assessment capability, so on and so forth. So if you are in this category, congratulations, right? You have now really moved and accelerated towards the growth phase of the journey. And lastly, it is scale. The scale is more around, you have really automated the cloud adoption, right? Your customer journeys are all digital, your marketing is all digital, right? You have a large battery of pre-sales architects who can actually help the customer move from stage A to stage 4, and that's where you are a scale partner. Now, the interesting thing is, these numbers haven't really changed significantly over the last year, right? Which means that in India as well, the numbers won't be much different. And this includes US as well, by the way, and Europe. So if you see, right, in India, these numbers would be slightly on the left-hand side, if not, right? I mean, which means that the more partners would be on the build and the breadth scale, right? So 95% probably could be the number which are in the build and breadth scale. Now, we can really help you, and that's where our investments have been, to kind of move from build to breadth to depth to scale. And just one takeaway, if you have to take, have those conversations with us on how, right? We are ready to invest time, effort, in working with you to find out which journey where in the journey you are, right? And then help design a framework for you which can help you actually move from build to scale, right? So just have a conversation with us. That's what my only request is. Now, how do we do that? One, you need a portfolio. So if you see, we have about 27, and this portfolio is actually, growing every day, right? We have in this year added about 4 more products, and we have plans to add 7 more products in the next year, right? And the Comet competition that I just talked about have given us a sizable funnel of which we can get some of the exciting new services on the marketplace. Now, as you can see, we are covering or we are straddling the entire value chain, right from plain vanilla email right up to service desk automation, and everything in between. So if you, and the point which I made about cross-sell and upsell fits rightly into this slide, right? I mean, you start with an email collaboration and then you move, right? So have that conversation with us. We can definitely help you work with your customers, even run BI campaigns on your customers. We have got a great business intelligence engine, right, which will throw propensity of your customers, right, that if they are using product A, which other products they can consume. And then it's more of a matter of, driving inside sales and marketing to create those prospects. But again, the first starting point is to have that conversation with us, right? One thing which we have invested significantly in, and I am sure over the day, I'm sure you would have heard mostly about Microsoft's investment in Azure, and readily we have also invested in Azure. So one of the things which we have created out there in East India, we acquired a company called NSIM, and it's in a place that not many of you would have heard of. It's in Durgapur, but there are about 200 people, working out of that place, right? What we have done there is we have actually created an Azure lifecycle framework, and mind you, it has been launched in India about a month back. And all of these services that I am presenting on the slide are ready for you. So point is, if you are just starting your infrastructure as a service journey and you don't know where to start, or you bring in a workload, we will help you with all of these to start with, right? It could be around discovery and assessment. It could be around sales enablement. It could be around technical enablement, so on and so forth. As you kind of move and change gears, right? If you want white badge support, or white badged pre-sales capabilities. For example, if you have an SAP customer who wants to migrate, we can be that white badge support for you. We have people remotely available to help you work as your employees along with your customer to drive that conversation forward, right? So speak to us about this. This is something which is already available in India, and it's in the Indian time zone. So it works perfectly for all of us. As I said, we have created a center of excellence, and This provides everything around Azure, right? Right from discovery and assessment to architecture and design services to POCs, and to also help you migrate your first workloads. Point is, allow us to kind of help you kickstart your Azure journey, or allow us to kickstart, your next phase of Azure growth, and then use us accordingly. So if you don't, if you have discovery and assessment out of your shop, brilliant. Use us for something else. If you have discovery and assessment and you have pre-sales people who can architect and plan, bill of materials and things like that, again, awesome, right? Use us for POC credits or free migration. We are providing free migration to ISVs today. So if you have competition, ISVs who are on competition cloud, right, hyperscale platforms, we will help you migrate them for free, right? Bring those ISVs to us, have that conversation as we'll be more than happy to kind of, kickstart the journey with you, right? This is an interesting area. I think you would have all heard about the wonderful materials, GTM materials that Microsoft has, probably one of the best ones, as Suresh said. Now, the challenge is where to find those. And the challenge is also is, how to really create a customized marketing campaigns for you. On the marketplace, cloud marketplace, if you are using it, brilliant. If you are not, then again speak to us. On the cloud marketplace, we have something known as a GTM hub, go-to-market hub, which is nothing but your virtual CMO. Okay, I mean, probably I'm exaggerating, but at least a vice president of marketing, right? If not a CMO. What it does really is it helps you design campaigns around your customers. Okay, it has got all the collaterals. You can put your branding on the collaterals. You can run marketing campaigns. You can track the efficacies of those marketing campaigns. You can target those leads which are generated out of the marketing campaigns. And these are all for you to kind of use. The collaterals are available. You can just put your badge on it and do an email blast to the customers. Till the time you are not investing in digital marketing, this is a great tool for you to automate your marketing, right? And it's available in the marketplace, used for free. And it has got more than ample material available across the portfolio, which I just presented a while back, right? So if you are a marketplace customer, just have a look at it. Lastly, we just did our Comet competition, so it ran across 16 countries, 5 continents, right? India had the largest representation of ISVs and startups from across the globe. We beat also the US. Look at the kind of, some of the, first of all, Ingram is not really known to, engage with ISVs and startups, right? This is the first time we did this, and we beat US, Ingram, to have the largest number of registrations. We had more than 30% of registrations across the globe to participate in this competition. We have had 16 finalists. We have identified 4 out of them, and 1 winner is flying with us on the to the Cloud Summit at Miami in May 2020. And some of you are interested to attend that summit, right? More than welcome to kind of hear from you. But why am I presenting this is basically we are also changing, right? As the market is changing, right? We realize that for the ecosystem to grow, we also need to kind of invest in the right ecosystems. While this ecosystem is flourishing, brilliant, we need to connect with the other ecosystems as well, startups, ISVs, so on and so forth, right? SAPs, providers, and so we are actually investing significantly over the last 12 months to create some of these capabilities. Lastly, as I said, what we are doing for you in the last 12 months and will continue to do in the next 12 months as well is to A, augment our portfolio, B, work with you to identify how can we move you from build to scale, right? And be your strategic enabler. You define the role that you would like to play for us, right? If you want us to be in front of the customer, yes. If you want to be at the back helping you drive those deals, more than happy to do it as well. You define the role for us, we would be more than happy to play that role for you, right? And basically what we expect from you is things that you do well already. Customer connect, skills and competencies, right? And be the strategic advisor as your customers move to cloud, right? So thank you so much. That was a short and sweet, introduction from my side. I would be more than happy to take any questions if you have time. If not, then we can definitely connect later.